Happy homecoming, Bulldog fans, and it was a happy homecoming for the Bulldogs. 45-3 final over the Louisiana Tech Bulldogs. Have to be careful. We'll just call it Tech and Bulldogs and State from now on, Steve. A big win. State came out, did exactly what they wanted to do. They dominated the game, did not give up an offensive touchdown, or any touchdown for that matter. Threw some punches early, landed them, and went on, secured bowl eligibility. And with what happened ahead of them in the college football playoff ranking top 20, have a chance to move up when the rankings come out Tuesday. Overall, Steve, a thoroughly satisfying and successful evening here at Scott Field.
Absolutely, David. And quite frankly, there have been games like this in the past when states come out and stub their toe and kind of limped across the victory line. The last two times the states played Louisiana Tech, Tech has jumped out to a two-score lead. Tonight, that was not the case. State comes out, 3 touchdowns the first 3 drives. Very businesslike approach on the sidelines. While everybody was excited about the scores, they expected to score and score early and often. They did, and pretty much put the game away before it really started.
Great night for Nick Fitzgerald, 4 touchdowns. Now, he's had 4 touchdown games before. He's never had a 4 touchdown half before. He dominated the first half. He threw some really good balls, had some great catches, let's give credit as well. And he looks like a guy who is finding his rhythm in this offense. Coach Joe Moore had said that they wanted to simplify. The word he used tonight was streamline the offense, but play to Fitzgerald's strength. Now, Nick said, well, he's not sure what he means by streamline, but he sure likes how things are working out for him.
That's true, and we've gotten so accustomed to Nick doing the heavy lifting in the running game. He ran hard tonight, had another 100-yard night. Didn't find the end zone tonight, which gives Boobie Dixon one more week at least as the co-record holder for rushing touchdowns in a career for the Bulldogs. But it was great because I thought Nick came out and hit some big throws. They weren't just coverage issues with Tech. The touchdown pass to Colin Hill is among the best throws that we have seen Nick Fitzgerald make, and a great effort by Hill, who we weren't sure was even going to play tonight, and he wasn't quite 100%, but he still went out there and gave a good effort. Eris Williams did not play in the first half. Coach's decision due to an off-the-field indiscretion that was undescribed in post-game. It was a violation of team rules, and Coach Moore had labeled it an accountability issue. We did see Dontavian Lee get in and get some tough carries. Nick Gibson with a great run nearly scored, and so there were a lot of Bulldogs contributing tonight, David. It was more than just a one-dog pony or one-dog show, shall we say.
After last week where Fitzgerald went to the split ends as X and Z receivers, he still did that tonight some to Jesse Jackson, who, by the way, had his first career touchdown catch. Great for a senior. He doesn't end his career without scoring, and you feel good for a guy that's worked as hard as he has. Absolutely. But as Coach Moorhead said a week ago, they wanted to get the slots and the tight ends involved. This turned out to be a game they could do that with. Dedrick Thomas, great catch in the end zone. You got the tight end Justin Johnson starts the game with a double-digit gain. I think at one point Nick had completed 10 passes. 9 of those completions were for first downs. The passing game was producing tonight.
Absolutely, they were, and a lot of run after the catch. That hadn't always been commonplace here at Mississippi State. A lot of times we catch and secure the catch and get down or get run out of bounds, but Stephen Guidry, a nice catch and run and an extension of the ball to get into the end zone. Dedrick Thomas, as we discussed, they kind of lost him out there, a little catch and run with him. Justin Johnson, I thought he might score on that play because once he got inside the seam, he was off to the races. So, yeah, there was more of an effort to get them involved, but those guys produced. It wasn't just a situation where you're going to force feed them and just to kind of give the defense a different look. They were actually productive tonight and really opened things up for the entire offense.
And let's talk about the defense again. You've come to take it almost for granted. No, not almost. You have come to take it for granted that this defense will put in a good show. Tonight they defended the end zone well. And another game, they have not allowed a touchdown on home field, I think now. Through 6 games, 3 touchdowns. There's no official record for that, but I did some digging this week. And what they're doing is in definite, just all-time territory as far as defending it. And in a day where offense rules the sport, let's be honest about that. But still, the second-team defense came in and kept them out of the end zone as well. A great stop. A fun way for those guys to finish off. And the special teams, you got some return plays. Punting wasn't bad tonight. Coverage was probably your only letdown in that. But as Coach Moore had said, this is one of your better balanced games out there, and the kind of game you need to keep momentum going. Because honestly, Steve, you and I had some concerns. How would they come down from the Texas A&M win, which is such a sigh of relief for everybody? Well, they did it by taking care of business against a team that, as you said, has given State trouble in the past.
It's true, David, and Tech is a good team, especially for their league, and they may end up winning.
I like that little running back McKnight.
I do too. They have some athletes, and they have Jamar Smith, the guy that Mississippi State offered out of Meridian to playing quarterback. I won't be surprised to see them go win a ball game again this year, but they were outclassed tonight, and that's being nice about it. One of the things I thought was interesting, David, is when the Bandit defense was on the field, when you had your freshmen out there and they were, you had Jed Johnson, Nathaniel Watson. Aaron Boulay didn't play because he's already kind of up against the forward, so he'll save that one more game for the bowl game. But that's why he wasn't out there. But a lot of the freshmen were out there. And the biggest amount of coaching was coming from your starting defense that were out there, keeping them out, telling those guys, hey, watch this, watch that. And so that's good to show that there's still some pride in that they want even the third and fourth team defenders to get in there and be able to keep a team out of the end zone.
Now let's talk about the biggest, quote, controversy of the night besides where was Aris Williams, which Coach Moorhead answered. Were you surprised, as I was, that Nick stayed in the game as long as he did, that well in the third quarter, really the fourth quarter before Keaton Thompson got to see the field? Yes, the third quarter went very fast. State had a couple of drives that ate up a lot of time, so there weren't a lot of chances to run him out there. But they left him in there. He took a little bit of a beating on his last series, so maybe a little surprised there that Keaton did not get the series that we thought and certainly hoped he would.
Well, I tell you, my answer to that is he got out when he needed to get out, but if you're going to leave him out there in a ball game with slopside, have him hand the football off. There's no point in taking any unnecessary wear and tear. But it's done. No worse for wear in the post game. But yeah, it is a scary moment when you see your quarterback bent backwards, as Nick was on that last third down series or that last third quarter series. Keaton comes in, leads the team down the field, running the football, and he scores and puts the game away. And at that point, it was all academic. But yeah, the bottom line is State will go to Tuscaloosa healthy. Outside of Brian Cole, there shouldn't be anybody that is out for next week. We even had Braxton Hoyette, Keith Mixon back in the game this weekend. There just wasn't that situation this week where you had guys all banged up, and because you played so many people, you had guys that kind of spread the casualties a little bit out there. Tim Washington got a little banged up. We'll get an update on him on Monday, but it does appear the Bulldogs kind of got out of here virtually unscathed, and so they'll be excited, headed to Tuscaloosa with an opportunity to go compete against the number one team in the country.
I understand we had a little difficulty with the video recorded yesterday, and you talked at the end of the video about recruiting, about visitors today. What were you able to find out today from visitors that maybe made the double hit today, if any of those guys, and maybe how today's game kind of impacted some State thinking along those lines?
Well, I think the main thing is you got some guys here, and the guys that were here today are guys that were given the opportunity to go see an SEC opponent, South Carolina and Ole Miss play, or come here. So it wasn't a huge crowd. There were some guys here, but you got to feel like those guys are really excited about Mississippi State if they're here. Kind of the usual suspects, guys from the Golden Triangle and some of your committed players. But here's the thing. The talk among the players, even the offensive commitments, are about the way the team is playing, responding to the Joe Moorhead offense, but also the defensive effort. So these defensive commitments, and it is a very defense-heavy class, they're seeing what they want to see. They want to come play and be part of this defense. And, guys like Jerry and Jones and Nathan Pickering, they're going to be highly coveted down the stretch, but they're going to be able to come play a championship caliber defense right here in Starkville.
So 45-3. I think my prediction was 42-3. I was a little bit off there, so no prize for me on this one, but a great big prize for Joe Moorhead and his Bulldogs. 6-3 now on the season. They have secured bowl eligibility, be a 9th straight postseason trip, and now for the rest of the season they'll be playing for what bowl they go to. I've done some crunching of the situations, and it is a mess. It is a thorough mess right now. Once you get past Alabama, who secured their division title today, and Georgia, who secured the East as well, there could be people ending up anywhere with so many losses in the head-to-head wins and losses. So this is where the college football playoff ranking actually comes in to mean something important. So as I said, 17 lost today, 11 lost. I believe 9 might have lost as well. Bulldogs have a great chance to move up Tuesday. Tomorrow, of course, the polls come out, 11 a.m., the coaches poll, 1 o'clock, the Associated Press poll. Not that the polls matter much, it's the rankings which matter at this point, but that will factor, too, into bowl determination when those assignments are made. So, Bulldogs now, they've scored back-to-back wins on the home field. Now they venture on the road to face number 1 Alabama. They won't go there intimidated. They'll go there remembering what happened last year, but also wanting to stamp their own imprint on this series. Joe Moorhead finally gets his first look at what life is like here in the SEC West on the road as well. So, for Steve Robertson, for our whole staff at Gene Space 24/7, who are now busily writing their stories, putting up their photos. And by the way, I need to say, we haven't mentioned, congratulations to Robbie and Natalie Falk on the birth of their daughter. And we have a new addition to our team, Steve.
We do, yeah. Robbie and Becky, everybody's doing great. Natalie, they're going to call her Natty, and so maybe that bodes well for the future for Bulldog Athletics.
Just a great week all around for all of us Bulldogs, Mississippi State Bulldogs, that is. We wish Louisiana Tech well as they go on and make a run at the Conference USA Division Championship as well. For our gang here at Davis Wade Stadium, Mississippi State 45, Louisiana Tech 3.